Here we have rotations, 8.3. We're on page 455. We're in the McGraw-Hill book. It says a rotation is a transformation in which the figure is rotated or turned about a fixed point. The center of rotation is fixed point A. Rotation does not change in size or shape, so the pre-image and the image are congruent. So that means that they are a rigid motion. Okay, remember, this is rigid motion. Okay? Rotations can be described in degrees and direction. The phrases 90 degrees clockwise and 270 degrees counterclockwise are two examples of possible descriptions of a rotation. Okay, so if I look here, okay, if I look at this, this is point A. It is rotating and it's going 90 degrees in a clockwise position. Okay. Here they're doing 180 degrees rotation, makes a straight line. See this right here, from this line to this line, it's 90 degrees. Okay. Then over here, okay, this is 270 degrees. So this right here was 90 degrees. This right here was 180. So this is another 90 degrees and it got you to 270 degrees. Okay. We are not going to be doing this work about different points. We're just going to be doing it around the origin. So we're actually going to skip over to page 458. Okay, the coordinates of an image rotated clockwise about an origin can be determined using coordinate notation, which we've been doing. When a figure is rotated about the origin, the center of rotation is 0, 0. Each point of the original figure and its image are the same distance from the origin. Okay, so if I look at this, okay, this point to this point, we made a 90 degrees. It went 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, again, clockwise is this way, just like a clock goes. So what we're doing is we're switching these, and that what's now in the Y position becomes a negative. It's not a negative, I apologize. Think of this as the opposite. Okay, not just negative, but think of it as its opposite. Because if I look at this point right here, oh, I don't want that one. Maybe we can do this one. So this is the point -3, 1. If I come over here, it's now 1, 3. So that took its opposite. The opposite of that -3 was +3. Okay, so 180 degrees, we're going to go 180 degrees, which is a straight line. We take the opposites. And then down here, 270 degrees clockwise is going to be down here. And right here we do -yx. Now, 270 degrees clockwise is the exact same thing as 90 degrees counter clockwise. And most books are going to talk about counterclockwise instead of using 270 degrees clockwise. So what we're going to do right here, oops. So we have the point -4, 4, -1, 2, -3, 1. Okay, and it's going to be rotated 90 degrees clockwise. And if I look over here at 90 degrees clockwise, that means I'm going to switch my X and Y. So I'm going to switch my X and Y. We switch the X and Y. And what is now in the Y position is its opposite. Okay? So the X coordinate of the image is the is the, I don't even want to look at these words. So I'm going to switch these two around. So 4 is now going to be here. Now, remember, we're doing the opposite of what the y it would now be. So that would be negative 4, but we need the opposite. So that's going to be positive 4. Right here, we switch these two. So this is now 2. This would be negative 1 if we were just switching it. But I don't want to just switch it. I want to take its opposite. So it's positive 1. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to switch these two numbers. This is going to be 1. This would be negative 3, but I want its opposite. So that's positive 3. Okay, so down here it asks for about our 180 degrees. So I'm going to do XY. 180 degrees, I just take the opposite. Okay, so if I'm looking at this M prime, I'm just taking the opposite. So negative 2, negative 5. N prime, I'm just taking the opposite. Negative 6, negative 4. P prime, negative 6, negative 1. And Q prime, negative 2, negative 1. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so here we have these. So if I look at the image, or the pre-image, I want to write down its spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So negative 6, negative 2. Then B is negative 5, 1. And C is negative 2, negative 3. And then I'm going to write down this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, 2. B is 5, negative 1. C prime is 2, 3. So the coordinates, they have not switched. All they did was take on the opposite of that. And so it's opposite of it, that means you did 180 degree rotation. Okay, so right here, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to look at A is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Oops, A, not A prime. I apologize. B is at 2, 1. C is at 3, negative 2. Okay. A prime is at negative 2. No, it is not at negative 2. It is at 2, negative 5. B prime is at 1, negative 2. C prime is at negative 2, negative 3. So we start with XY, and what happened? The 5 is now over here, the 2 is here. So then they switched, so that means that they switched, but which one took on the opposite? The y values took on, the new y value took on its opposite. So that means that it went from here to here. That is going to be a 90 degree clockwise rotation. Okay, we are on page 461 in the book, and it says, before moving furniture in her bedroom, Jasmine made a diagram of the current arrangement. She drew a rectangle A, B, C, D to represent her desk with vertices A is 2, 4, B is 6, 4, C is 6, 1, D is 2, 1. Okay, so if I was going to graph that, okay, I should have done this on. Okay, so I'm going to go, oops, wrong direction, 2, 4. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's A. And then it says B is 6, 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. Oops, sorry. And that's B. And then 6, 1. So that's here. And 2, 1, D. Okay, so this is my original. Oh, I should have did a better line. It says she moved the desk twice, so she's going to move it 2 times. The first time, translating this, 3 units left. So x minus 3. And then 2 units down, so y minus 2. So I'm going to go to the left 3 and down 2. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And this is A prime. So then I go 1, 2, 3, down 2, B prime. 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, D prime. 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, C prime. Okay, so I've now moved this like so. Oops. Then it says we're going to do a 90-degree clockwise rotation. So I'm going to take my piece of paper. I'm going to do a little T here. This is A prime. This is B prime. This is C prime. And D prime. And it says 90 degrees clockwise. So that means I'm going to the right. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Oops, can't see it, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to cover that a little bit. So my A is right here. So I'm going to come underneath that. That's it. Looks like 2, 1. Well, look at that. A double prime. And then D is at negative 1, 1. Negative 1, 1. That's D double prime. Helps if I keep the paper straight. So this is 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. I should have done a different color. I know. Double prime. And C double prime is going to be negative 1, negative 3. So C double prime. So I definitely should have a different color, but I don't see any other color. Oh, here. There we go. And that's where it would end up. Now, if we had done this just using, not drawing the picture and doing this, we could also do that. So I'm going to actually write it here. I know you can't see it, but we're going to move it a little bit. A was 2, 4. B was 6, 4. C was 6, 1. And D is 2, 1. Okay? Then it said that my first translation was going to be x minus 3, y minus 2. So I'm going to subtract 3 from the a values. From the x values. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to subtract 3. So that would be negative 1, 3, 3, negative 1. Then from the y values, I'm going to subtract 2. So that's going to be 2. It's going to be 2. That's going to be negative 1, negative 1. So let's look. A is at negative, A prime is at negative 1, 2. Is that what we have? Yes. B prime was at 1, 2, 3, 2. 3, 2. C prime was at 3, negative 1. 3, negative 1. Oops. And then D prime was at negative 1, negative 1. Negative 1, negative 1. So I want something that's not going to bleed through. Let's see if I can find something. Let's see. Let's see if this will work. Nope. You think I'd have a regular pen, but I don't. So then the next part says that we're going to do a 90-degree clockwise. Oops, 90-degree clockwise. So that means I'm going to take these right here. I'm going to take those right there, and I'm going to do 90 degrees clockwise. So 90 degrees, you switch the x and the y, and then the second coordinate takes the opposite. So I'm going to switch these around. So A double prime. When I switch, these 2 comes here, and I need the opposite of the x. So that's 1. B double prime. The 2 goes into the front. The 3 goes over here, but I need the opposite, so that's negative. Not that you can see it very well. Then this one, C double prime. I change this to the first coordinate. And then the 3 goes over here, but I do the opposite. And D double prime. I take the negative 1, it goes in front, and then I take the opposite of this. So now let's check my answers. So this is a 2, 1. 2, 1 is A double prime. B double prime is 2, negative 3. 2, negative 3. C double prime is negative 1, negative 3. Negative 1, negative 3. And D double prime is negative 1, 1. So you can either graph it or you can do it with the formulas. So now let's go over to this side. Okay. Again, I have to move some things. There we go. So this one says, before rearranging the furniture on his office, Tyrone made a diagram of the current arrangement. He drew the rectangle ABCD to represent a file cabinet. Okay, so and it says A is 1, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's A. And 1, 2, 3, 7 is B. And 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 is C. And 1, 4 is D. There we have it. Awesome. So then it tells us that we are going to, it says translate this 4 to the right, so that's positive, and 3 down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3. That's A prime. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. B prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. D prime. And then C prime will be here. Okay. Then it tells us that we're going to do a 180-degree clockwise. Where did my patty paper just go? Here we go. So, on this, I'm going to put a T right here. And then over here, I'm going to put A, B, C, and D. And you can draw the lines if you want. And then I'm going to do 180. So that means that I'm going to go one, oops, I can't see anymore. One turn, two turns. So I'm going to be down here. Oops. Hold on. I used the wrong thing. Where is my picture? Oh, it's this one. Okay. Go one and two. Right here. So that's a D. I thought it was a P. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to go right here for my A double prime, here for my B double prime, then C double prime and D double prime. Okay? Voila. Now, if I was to do this on my piece of paper, okay? If I have A is 1/7, B is 3/7, C is 3/4, and D is 1/4. Okay? And then my first translation is going to be, or my translation is going to be x plus 4, y minus 3. So on A prime, I add 4, so that would be 5. B prime, I add 4, so that would be 7. C prime, I would be 7. And D prime, that would be 5. Then my y values, I subtract 3, so that would be 4. 4 subtracts 3, I would be at 1 and 1. Okay, so let's look at my picture. Okay, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then this is 5, 6, 7, 4. 7, 4. 7, 1. 7, 1. 5, 1. 5, 1. So yay, we did the right thing. Then 180 degrees. That means I'm going to take and I'm going to switch them around. So I'm going to take these right here. Oops, it's supposed to be in pencil. And I'm going to switch them around. -4, -5. Nope. Try that again. As the lights went out. Okay, I'm just making them the opposite. So -5, -4. B double prime, -7, -4. C double prime, -7, -1. D double prime, -5, -1. Okay, so let's look at these. Okay, so A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 5, negative 4. D prime, negative 5, negative 1. Right there. If this is negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, that's negative 7, negative 1 right there. And this is negative 7, negative 4. So either way will be the correct way to do that.